Because we are calculating the what? We are calculating velocity of approach. Approach means it's common sense that it should be happening, it should be calculated before the collision. Before the collision, it will be approach. The point is coming, the point is approaching the surface. The point is approaching the surface to make the collision. And once the collision happens, the point will separate from the surface. So we'll calculate the velocity of separation after the collision. Isn't it? Clear? It's common sense, not physics. Just before the collision, the point is approaching the surface. That's why velocity of approach is to be calculated just before the collision. And what is velocity of approach? A relative velocity of the point with respect to the surface. And had there been two bodies, A and B colliding, had there been two bodies A and B colliding, we'll be calculating the relative velocity of A with respect to B, not with respect to surface. A with respect to B or B with respect to A, both are the same thing. Only directions are opposite, magnitude will be same. Yes? So we'll be calculating the velocity of one body with respect to another if two bodies would have been colliding. And here, one body is colliding with the surface. That's why we are taking the velocity of the point which is making the impact with respect to the surface. And when? Just before the collision, because we are calculating the velocity of approach. So what will be that? Simply it will be under root of 2gh, because there is no velocity of the surface. There is no velocity of the surface. The surface is a stationary ground, so velocity of the surface is 0. So whatever is the velocity of the point under root of 2g, the same will be the velocity of the point with respect to the surface as well. Yes. So that means we can conclude that the velocity of approach will be about how much? Under root of 2g. This was easy. The difficult part here is in writing the velocity of separation. Because what happens till the first collision, till this instant, just before the collision, the rod is making only purely translational motion. There is only linear velocity of the center of mass. There is no angular velocity above the center of mass yet. And it will gain the angular velocity now in the process of collision. So just after the collision, if I'll say, just after the collision, we'll have two motional parameters. The rod will undergo combined motion. Center of the rod, I'm assuming that gains a velocity Vf and an angular velocity omega naught in the clockwise sense. Yes. So now tell me, just after the collision, this thing happens. The rod gains a linear velocity of the center as well as an angular velocity above the center. Yes. So what should be the velocity of this point A? What should be the velocity of this point A just after the collision? And that will be nothing but what? The velocity of separation. That will be nothing but the velocity of separation. Just tell me. What kind of motion rod is performing? Number of times already we have told the rod is performing a combined motion. The rod is having a linear velocity of the axis. Axis is center here. Linear velocity of the axis means the center, and an angular velocity about the axis. So combination of the two means it's a case of combined motion. Fine. So in combined motion, the velocity of any point is given by what? A vector sum of two velocities. What velocity I want? I want the velocity of A after the collision. What is that? Absolute velocity? Yes, I need the absolute velocity. Velocity of A with respect to ground means absolute velocity will be a vector sum of two velocities. A with respect to center. A with respect to center or the axis plus the velocity of axis or the center with respect to ground. Can I say this? Yes. Taking center as intermediate, I can say velocity of wave with respect to center plus velocity of center with respect to ground is going to give me the absolute velocity of the point. And directly I can't write the velocity of point A as I was writing earlier before making the first collision under root of 2g is because the motion was purely translational till that moment. Now the motion is combined. In combined motion, directly I can't write. I have to go by this method. I have to take center as intermediate. So velocity of wave with respect to center plus the velocity of center with respect to ground, a vector sum of the two is going to give me the absolute velocity or the resultant velocity of the point A with respect to ground. Is that clear? Fine. So now tell me here, velocity of point A with respect to center. Velocity of point A with respect to center will be what? Velocity of point A with respect to center means what? A person will stand on the center and will observe the velocity. Velocity of A with respect to center means the observation will be done by a person standing on the center. The moment a person stands on the center, won't he having the same velocity? Won't he have the same velocity as that of the center? Yes, if the center velocity is Vf, this person velocity will also be Vf in the vertically upward direction. So can this person say that the center of mass is no more a moving point, it is a fixed point, it is a stationary point? It is no more a moving point, it is a fixed point or a stationary point, boss? Yes. If it is a stationary point, then can this person say that this rod is no more in combined motion, it is executing what? It is doing what? A pure rotation, because he will say that the center is fixed and only there is an angular velocity about the center. The center is fixed and only there is an angular velocity about the center. So what kind of motion it will be? It will be a pure rotation. This person can only say, not a person on the ground. A ground person, a man standing on the ground cannot say this. A man standing on the ground will observe that the center is moving as well as its angular velocity about the center. So obviously it is a combined motion. But the person standing on the center can say this because he will observe the center to be fixed or stationary. Why? Because he will start moving along with the same velocity as that of the center because he is standing on the center itself. Fine. The moment he says that, the moment this person says that this rod is in combined motion, so every point of the rod is in pure rotation, sorry, the rod is in pure rotation, that means every point of the body, when a body is in pure rotation, starts moving in a circle with the axis of rotation as a center. Now what is the axis? The center is axis. So with center of mass of the rod, as the center, this point A will also start moving in a circle. Not only this point, every point of the body will start moving. Even I choose this point B, this will also start moving in a circle. With what is the center? With center of mass of the rod as the center, because center of mass of the rod is the axis now. So with center of mass of the center, every point of the rod will start moving in a circle as observed by whom? Remember this at the back of it. As observed by whom? As observed by a person standing on the center of mass of the rod only, not by a person on the ground. Clear? So if he'll observe that, if this person will observe that this point A starts moving in a circle, so whenever any point moves in a circle, in what direction its velocity is? Velocity is what? Tangential, no? Tangential to the circle. Tangent means perpendicular to the radius. And what is radius? This part. The length of the rod itself is the radius. So perpendicular to the length of the rod will be the what? The velocity of the point A as observed by this person standing on the center. Yes. Perpendicular to the rod will be the direction of velocity. Perpendicular could be this way or this way also. Could be upwards or downwards also. And that will be given by the sense of omega. Omega is clockwise here. That means this point A will be trying to move like this, not like this. So velocity of the point A will be perpendicular to the length of the rod. And the direction will be upwards. Upward means like this. So this is what? This is which velocity? Velocity of the A with respect to the center. And that should be equal to what, boss? Omega naught into the radius. And what is the radius? L by 2. Whenever any point moves in a circle, the velocity at any instant is given by omega into radius, omega into r. And the direction as tangential. So direction tangential, perpendicular to radius. And the magnitude will be how much? Omega into L by 2. Because the center of mass of the rod is the center for this circle in which point A is moving. Fine. Clear? So velocity of wave with respect to center is this thing, omega L by 2 perpendicular to the length of the rod, and then this velocity I got this one omega naught L by 2 vector. I got the magnitude, I got the direction both. And this has to be added vectorially with what? The velocity of center with respect to ground. That is what in the vertically outward direction. That is Vf. That is what in the vertically outward direction. That is Vf. Fine. So let us add these two vectorially. Our purpose will be solved and we can arrive at the last equation which we need for solving the question. Yes. Just a moment. So what I told, the velocity of wave with respect to center, the velocity of wave with respect to center is how much? Omega L by 2. And the direction perpendicular to the rod are like this because omega is clockwise. And velocity of the center with respect to ground is here. That is Vf. As clear as that. Velocity of the center with respect to ground is assumed right from the beginning to be Vf in the vertically upward direction. Isn't it? So this vector is to be added with this vector to get what? The resultant velocity of the point A with respect to ground. And this velocity will be nothing but the what? The velocity of separation. Because the surface is still stationary. Surface before the collision was stationary. Now the surface after the collision is also stationary. So whatever velocity I'll get the point A, that of the point A with respect to ground just after the collision, that is the absolute velocity of point A. That is also going to be the relative velocity of the point A with respect to the surface, because the surface has no velocity of its own. Surface is stationary both before the collision and after the collision. Yes. So velocity of wave with respect to ground will be the velocity of separation. So that is the vector sum of this two. That is omega L by 2, which is perpendicular to the rod, this part, plus Vf here. So this Vf I transfer here, I translate here, because I have to add these two vectors. I am showing them to be originating from the same point A. So at the same point A, both the vectors are originating. One is Vf, one is Va with respect to center omega L by 2. Now simply writing this as omega L by 2. This angle is boss theta. This vertical line, so what should be this angle? 90 minus theta, isn't it? So what should be this one again? Theta. Because this angle is 90. Sum of this angle and this angle. Sum of this angle and this angle is what? 90. So this part is again theta. This angle is again theta. Yes. So what I want? So what I have written here, just a very important concept thing. I want the velocity of wave with respect to ground is velocity of wave with respect to center plus the velocity of center with respect to ground, isn't it? A vector sum of these two vectors is going to give me the absolute velocity of wave with respect to ground. In what direction, if I'll ask you, in what direction this absolute velocity will be? In what direction this absolute velocity will be? This absolute velocity can be along any direction between the two vectors. Now this one is one vector Vf, which is to be added with this vector omega L by 2. So absolute velocity could be along anywhere between the two. And that will depend on the individual magnitudes of Vf and omega L by 2. So unless or until we have find out these two values of Vf and omega L by 2, will not be able to say in what direction exactly this absolute velocity is going to lie. But do we need this absolute velocity completely? My question is now, do we need this absolute velocity? No. We don't need this absolute velocity. So what we need then? Why do we do all this effort if we don't need this? We don't need this completely. What we need is, we need the component of this along vertical. Yes. Along vertical means what? Along the line of impact. So the vertical is what, boss? Line of impact, isn't it? Because whatever suppose absolute velocity is like this. Suppose absolute velocity is like this. Absolute means the resultant of the two. I don't want this velocity completely. I want the component of this along the vertical, because that velocity only will be the velocity of separation. Yes, because that velocity will be along the line of impact of the vertical direction. Now tell me, these are two independent vectors. Velocity of wave with respect to center, that is omega L by 2, and center with respect to ground, that is VA. These two are independent vectors. Two independent vectors are being added to give a resultant. So if I want the component of resultant along some direction, the direction is vertically here. So can I say, if I take the component of individual vectors also along that direction, means the component of this along vertical plus the component of this along vertical, should I say the sum of the two is going to give me the absolute velocity component along vertical? See, you have got two methods here, two options here to choose from. One method is that you will find the value of omega L by 2. You will find the value of VF. You will find the resultant. You will find this angle also. Suppose this angle is phi. You will find the angle also. Then you will find the component. That is going to be very much cumbersome, absolutely cumbersome. And the other way is, we don't need to do all this. Simply I'll say the absolute component along vertical will be equal to the component of velocity of wave with respect to center plus the component of center with respect to ground, because these two are independent vectors, which on being added is going to give me this resultant. Whenever two independent vectors, more than one independent vectors add to give a resultant, then the component of resultant along any direction becomes equal to the sum of the components of all the vectors along that direction. Is that clear? If else R vector equal to A plus B plus C, it can be extended for any number of vectors. I don't know what is the direction of R. Suppose I'll say I want the component of R along this direction. So the component of R along X will be component of A along X plus B along X plus C along X. As simple as that. All should be same. It is not that this will be X here, this will be X here, this will be Y here. All should be same. The component of R along any particular direction will be equal to sum of the components of the individual vectors. So when added, it will give me the component of the resultant along that direction. That is what is happening here. So what is the component of value of this thing? Velocity of wave with respect to center. What is that? Omega L by 2. And that is making how much angle? Let me redraw the diagram again. It has got a little crumbs here. So velocity of wave with respect to center is omega L by 2 in the direction perpendicular to rod. Yes. In the direction perpendicular to rod. So along the vertical direction, this is the vertical. If I'll ask you what is the component of this, and that is what I want. The first term, velocity of wave with respect to center, that is omega L by 2. And what? The vertical component of that, and with the vertical, this angle is what? Made us theta. Simply I'll say omega naught L by 2 cos theta, should I say, is the component of this vector omega L by 2 along the vertical. I'll write here omega L by 2 cos theta. Yes, the first part. And what is the second part? Velocity of center with respect to ground and the vertical component of that. And the velocity of center with respect to ground is boss along the vertically upward direction only. Yes, the VF is already completely along the vertical direction already. So if I take the component, the entire magnitude will come. A vector is along one particular direction, and then asking the component along that direction only, so the complete magnitude of the vector will come. Here omega L by 2 was along some other direction. So when I took the component, some component is coming actually. Omega L by 2 cos theta is a part lesser than omega L by 2. Yes, not the complete magnitude. Omega L by 2 cos theta. Now wave is entirely along the vertical, and you are being asked the component also along the vertical. So should I say the complete magnitude will come? That is what? VF, so omega L by 2 cos theta plus VF. This is going to be what? This is going to be the velocity of wave with respect to ground along the vertically upward direction. And this, my friend, is going to be the velocity of separation, isn't it? Because this is the velocity of point along the line of impact or the vertical direction. Is that clear? And already we had calculated the velocity of approach to be how much? Under root of 2gh. Yes. And the value of E is given as 0.5. So I can write down here 0.5 equals to this value Vf plus omega L by 2 cos theta. I'll write down here 0.5 equal to Vf plus omega L by 2 cos theta, velocity of separation upon velocity of approach, that is under root of 2gh. Yes, separation is this, the velocity of point A along vertical, along the line of impact after the collision. Getting it? As the velocity of approach was before the collision, that is under root of 2gh. Every point was having the same velocity. The ratio of the two is nothing but t. Now if I look at the earlier three equations, so whatever variables were there, Vf, h, omega, theta, in terms of that only I have written the fourth equation using the definition of E. We have not introduced any other variable. That means now we are in a position to solve all this equation and find the value of the variables as the number of variables has become equal to the what number of equations. So I hope you have enjoyed the problem and you have got many of your concepts and doubts clarified. What mistake not to make, how to approach the question, which are the points to emphasize on, everything is clear absolutely. So with this note, let me sign off. I'll come up very soon again with a very challenging and interesting problem. Okay, so that again will be benefited to a great extent. With this note, let me sign off. Bye bye. Thank you.